Hi and welcome to Movies Suck. Well, I was having a look at Bounding into Comics and I came across the little thing about Harley voting for Bernie Sanders in that Birds of Prey film. I will do a review on that movie at some point, but don't hold your breath because honestly I just can't bring myself to build up the enthusiasm to really want to watch it. But at some point I will go see it and I will review it. For what it's worth, if it's worth it. It's going to be reviewed hundreds of times already, so maybe it's not worth it. But that's not the point of this story. The point on here is that Harley Quinn voted for Bernie Sanders in Warner Brothers' latest Birds of Prey film. And it says, Harley Quinn feels the burn, or that is what Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn would have you believe. Confronted with various people trying to kill her and collect a bounty in the film, the frame freezes periodically as Harley IDs her assailant, or attempts to, and reveals or deduces what the person has against her. Brought before Black Mask, she runs through a litany of reasons he has to hate her. You'll blink and forget most of them, but one is hard to miss. Her countdown of possible reasons and motivations for Roman Sionis' wrath stops and lingers seemingly on voted for Bernie, indicating that Harley is either a Democrat or a radical independent socialist. Well, the thing about Harley is she's evil. She is a horrible person. She's the kind of person that you'd be like, what, you got hit by a truck? Okay, whatever. And that's it. You wouldn't really care anything else about it. You might be thinking, I hope Joker was with her. But other than that, who cares what happens to her, what she thinks, or anything else? And the fact that she voted for Bernie makes complete sense. Because Bernie is a radical socialist, or even possibly communist. And let's face it, in communism, there's not really any such thing as a police force, is there? They don't really need a police force. They expect everyone to just report on each other, just as the left tries to do these days. And so it makes sense that someone evil who finds herself at the top of the food chain, well, in a way, wouldn't care for the capitalist system. I mean, the great thing about capitalism is that you can steal stuff off people because capitalism actually makes people money. The bad thing about capitalism is that when people have things and money and everything else, property, you need a police force to stop other people from murdering you and stealing your stuff. So capitalism breeds police. Police means very difficult to commit crimes, or at least harder than it could be. Communism, on the other hand, easier to commit crimes. Who's going to stop you? The brown shirts? Well, it seems like a good reason for her to vote Bernie, doesn't it? Get rid of all the police, get rid of capitalism, and you can just be up there, the top of the chain, looking down on the little people, having whatever you want. And the police are essentially there to protect you. So criminals get protected by the police in communism. That's essentially how things work. So it makes complete sense that Harley would be a Democrat. And by Democrat, I mean communist, because let's face it, Democrats don't really exist anymore. The Democrats have been hijacked by the socialists. And that's not just a thing that's happening in America. That's what's happened over here in England too. The Labour Party, which is our version of the Democrats, has been hijacked by communists, anti-Semites, and every other bad kind of person you can imagine. That's just how it works for some reason. It's no longer a party of the people for the people. It's a party of the people that want to be in charge and have all the power whilst, like trying to give people stuff for free and destroying your country. Communists. Wankers. And the article continues, and it actually says a bit further down here that Margot Robbie is on my side here. But let's read. It may also prove that Sionis is either a Republican, as the filmmakers conceptualize one, or a Hillary supporter. BOP doesn't take a position on that. It's obvious that he's supposed to be a Republican. He's a capitalist. He's rich and spoiled, so of course he's a capitalist. And therefore Republican. Therefore might have voted for Trump. Oh no! How evil, since they're going to have Bernie in this world. We assume Trump is in this world too, and obviously Trump's the bad guy. Is he still the bad guy compared with someone like Harley Quinn? If you ask a modern leftist, because they're psycho, then yes. If you ask, someone with intelligence, a few brain cells to rub together, no, obviously not. She is a really horrible bitch who, if she happened to get killed, who cares? No one cares. At least this is a real world point of view anyway. Within comic books and I guess DC's movies, then okay, we don't want Harley Quinn to die. We don't, because she makes things interesting. Alright, she's never been a great character, she's never been particularly fascinating, but she's a fun enough lackey for the Joker, so it's good to have her around as a foil for the Joker, who generally acts like he doesn't care about her most of the time, which is kind of like how the rest of us feel. The only time we've not felt that way is when Harley Quinn turned up in Suicide Squad, and she looked hot. There we go. The entire reason for her existence. And a reason that, so far as I can see, they've not played on particularly in this film, and therefore makes this film remarkably uninteresting. But maybe the action sequences are going to be good. I don't know, I've not seen it yet, we'll see it eventually. Thanks to this Easter egg of sorts, some are hung up on the socialist senator existing in the DC extended universe. Big deal, apparently. Director Cathy Yan informed the Wrap the humorous reference to Sanders would be in her film and tipped the hat to the scriptwriter Christina Hodson for coming up with it. With the grievances, we were just kind of coming up with different grievances, and I would throw some ideas in, Christina Hodson would throw some ideas in. I think the Bernie thing, I'll give full credit to Christina on that one. And we all just chuckled at it and we thought, why not? And I think tonally and stylistically, this is a movie that can afford that kind of stuff. And a little bit of self-awareness. Or a lot of self-awareness, I should say. And not a lot of movies get to make a Bernie joke, so sure, let's do it. Yep, let's just do it. Throw anything in there. I am actually impressed that it wasn't a Trump joke, so Bernie joke, okay, whatever. It's amazing it wasn't a Trump joke. That's just me. You know how bad Hollywood is, they'd rather just pat each other on the back all day long and tell each other how great they are, whilst denigrating the rest of us worthless individuals for, supporting the capitalists and the anti-feminists. Because, let's face it, feminism is cancer. Anyway, as I said earlier about Margot Robbie, it says, Margot Robbie explained to CinemaBlend that she had to remind Cathy Yan to avoid making Harley Quinn look like a hero. Robbie stated, we did want to see that real-life side of her, but I think Cathy was loving the vulnerable, fun, sweet version of Harley, and I had to keep being like, she's a bad person still. She can't be good. She is a shitty person. We can't forget that. Exactly right, Margot, and I hope that came across in the film properly, because she's not a hero. She's not even close to being a hero, so she shouldn't be treated as a hero within the idea of the film, except, maybe, when things are being shown from her own specific point of view. Then, obviously, in your own head, no matter how evil you are, I'm sure Hitler thought he was a hero. Oh man, Godwin's law got me again. How long does it take to get to the Nazis? God damn it. Almost made it to the end of this article. Does that mean voting Bernie Sanders is another of her villainous touches? One has to wonder. Birds of Prey is out now. Noteworthy is its release in an election year, if that really means anything. Could it mean anything? Could that mean that there was surreptitiously saying, vote for Bernie, don't vote for Trump, he's evil, vote for Bernie? I'm not sure this is a particularly good example of how they support Bernie, but one thing's for certain, we know they support Bernie over Trump, so of course they threw Bernie in here. People are going to be like, yay, isn't Margot Robbie so lovely as playing Harley Quinn? She's so amazing, and she voted for Bernie, so we should all vote for Bernie because you're evil scum. I'm not being serious, though a lot of the people that do vote for Bernie are likely to be absolute scum. I'm looking at you, Antifa, all you wankers over there, on the far left, the violent, extremist, dangerous, terrorist far left. Anyway, this has been Movies Suck, saying voting for Bernie is as much of a joke as it was in the film. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.